Welcome to the RV Pro Talk podcast, hosted by Keith Shomaker, co-owner of Redlands Truck RV, and Brad Killgore, owner of Custom Shops Marketing. We created the show to connect the RV repair world, provide trusted resources, whether you're just starting your RV repair shop or you've been at it for decades. Hopefully you enjoy it, and we're here to help. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Brad Killgore here with Custom Shops Marketing. I'm here with my good friend, Keith Shomaker from Redlands Truck RV. How you doing today, Keith?
Hey, Brad, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. This is the RV Pro Talk podcast, and we're super stoked to be sharing ideas with you. Keith has been a long time owner of a massive RV service center in Southern California, and I am a former full-time RVer and been around RVs for many, many years. And then my expertise is online marketing, specifically for RV service shops. So, yeah, we're just going to kind of kick off what we're talking about today. And we're going to start with a little bit about the story of Redlands Truck and RV. I mean, they've been around literally for over 50 years. So I'm going to have you talk a little bit about the history of your shop and kind of your credibility, because I understand it. It's epic, for lack of a better word. And so maybe, yeah, just tell me a little bit about your story, your situation, and obviously your co-owner sister, and go from there.
Yep. 1972, I remember being out front of our house, and my dad said, "Hey, we're gonna fix trucks for a living," something to that matter. I was 8 years old, and I do. I completely remember the conversation, and then whatever happens in a kid's time, whether it was a month or a year later, but I was at this shop in Redlands, and we were working on commercial equipment, trucks. And my dad was the owner. My mom was in the office. We had two mechanics. And at first they said, "Hey," to me, they said, "Hey, just just make sure you don't get hurt." And the first thing I did was slipped. I was screwing around or whatever. I jumped over something. I slipped and I fell in a tub of solvent back when we could have solvent. And I didn't tell anybody. And within 2 or 3 hours, my pants and that area back there was on fire. So I had to finally confess what I did. And I never screwed up again like that at the shop. But 19 that was 1972. My dad had been an engineer at Lockheed, put himself through college. And Lockheed was located close by to us in a little town called Mentone. Had a small rocket something in there, and they were closing it. And Lockheed was moving everybody to Akron, Ohio. And my dad was friends with the owner of Redlands Truck Service, which was the repair company for Redlands Express. Redlands Express was delivering lazy boy furniture that was made in Redlands, up and down California in 1968, 1972 vehicles, that era. So right away we were, when my dad said yes, he'll buy the business and put it right away, we had a customer and several other customers, and then we just continued to work on commercial trucks up until um, probably late 90s, where truck leasing became super popular with our commercial accounts. And one by one, we were getting kind of picked off, big, huge um, school supply and paper delivery company up in Redlands, Mentone, uh, went to lease kind of overnight, and it really shocked us. It woke us up. And I asked my dad, I'm like, "Hey man, what's this leasing stuff?" And he says, "Don't worry about it. It won't last." But it did. And eventually they got it, almost all of our commercial accounts ended up leasing equipment. And when you lease equipment, the repairs go to the leasing company. And what they were doing, really, they were smart. They were buying brand new vehicles and leasing them to these companies at a profit, And if there was something wrong with the vehicle, they would just take it back to the dealer. So it pretty smart. Anyway, pushed us out of the market. And quickly I realized that we needed to do something different. The government contracts or service agreements that we had with our local Caltrans and county and city, they were okay, but they were changing as well. And I knew that we needed to do something different. And we had actually pivoted several times. We started working on school buses. We were a Thomas school bus PDI center. I delivered school buses all throughout Southern California down into San Diego. Um, we were a Texoma service center, and that's a device that drills 4, 5, and 6 foot diameter holes down to 30 plus feet, mostly used for large posts and piers and things like that. Um, we we uh, we did several bucket trucks. We were a Teco dealer, a reach all. That whole market has changed. It's kind of interesting. They went through their own metamorphosis. And then it's interesting. I think I either got tired of changing and making pivots and trying to find something that was going to be steady. By then I had 4 or 5 mechanics and we were busy, and I needed to feed the beast. And I read an article on Workforce in a magazine around 2000, 1999, 2000, and it said this company is looking for service centers. I'm like, and it was a GM chassis, and I'm like, holy moly, the first time ever we could be a service center for something. So I called, and within 3 months we were a service center, and we started working on motorhomes. Our mechanics hated it. They didn't like being clean. We didn't understand the motorhome customer. Uh, we went through a heck of a training and change for ourselves. And really, honestly, since 2000, that's led us to where we are today, 2024. We might work on a commercial vehicle here or there, someone that's delivering party goods or people or something of that nature. Actually, we've done some highway patrol. Oh, today I was at the shop and we have the city of Redlands. Um, it's a trailer that they use as a stage. So they had us update it. So we do actually still do some commercial work in addition to RVs. So sorry for the long-winded answer.
No, that's totally cool. I mean, you like I say, it was a family-run business by your mom and dad way back in
Yeah.
20 years or 52 years ago. And
Yeah.
literally at this point, it's a completely different animal. You guys are known throughout the whole Southwest, if not the United States, as the go-to place for RV repair and upgrades. And I mean, it's cool because you guys have worked hard and the biggest thing I see is you treated people right along the way. You took care of business, and your reputation is solid because I've been there in my RV. I've sent friends and people there, and it's the same thing each time. It's like, man, they did a great job. I'd refer these guys to anybody, and
Yep.
that's quite an accomplishment.
And with that said, uh, there, what's today? Wednesday? Last Thursday, I did a seminar in Hemet. We had just gotten back from courtside. I got back on Monday, I think it was. So Thursday, I'm down in Hemet doing a seminar. Cal they call themselves, and their rally is always at Golden Village Palms in Hemet, and it's always during courtside. So I never get an opportunity to go say hello and thank you. And for whatever reason, the weeks that their schedule and the courtside schedule allowed me to go present. And so I went down there, presented, and it was exactly that. A lot of people are like, "Hey, man, thank you. You got awesome. Oh yeah, we stayed at your RV. Oh, this was the we did this, we did that." I had a lady pull me aside. She goes, "Can you talk?" And I went, "Yeah, absolutely." And she told me a story that when we screwed up, and I said, "You know, I know that you're looking at me, and I know how difficult this is for you to tell me." And I told her, I said, "I really appreciate you taking time. and I'm aware of what happened and our failure, and I can assure you that we've fixed it, that we won't do that again. And I know that we reimbursed you, and I know that we made you good, but I realize that you probably still have reservations. And she says, yeah, I do. And so, man, I love it when we're great, and I love hearing about it. But I got to tell you, it's also good to hear it when you're not. And she was gracious enough to not blurt it out in the middle of a seminar, which I have had happen in the past. And like I told her, and then actually like I told that group, I said the best thing I did at Quartzsite seminar was tell everybody that I don't know everything. And that's the truth. I'm kind of deadly on 10 or 12 things when it comes to RV stuff, but man, you know, I'm just like them. I just want to help people. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, and you got to think, I mean, in reality, Keith, I mean, there's so many moving parts and there's so much that goes in and out of different types and styles of art. And then of course you have the human factor of your team and of the
Yep.
customer. So there's a lot.
But But you know what? This is what's hit me recently. And honestly, this is why I really think about electric propulsion and that sort of thing. If you're an owner of a service center, really, and I don't care if it's motorcycles or small engines or whatever it might be, honestly, really, in the end, your job is to affect some sort of repair or advice that results in greater uptime to your customer. So if that means fewer working parts, then we need to make those kinds of difficult recommendations. We need to say, hey, man, this system might be better for you to consider. So I'm totally with you on fewer working parts. I like that.
Exactly.
Make it simple, man, and make it more reliable for our customer. That's our job as a service center.
Sure. So if you were to kind of put a synopsis of where your service center is now with how many people work for you, kind of the how many RVs come in and out, and maybe tell us a little bit about the shop itself, and then perhaps about the Grove. We'll kind of go into that next.
Yeah, Grove is unique. We're lucky to have the opportunity to have purchased a piece of acreage, a piece of property that's sizable enough to where we can put, well, there's probably close to 100 RVs in there right now, but we have RV spaces pull through, and we built a miniature RV park only for our customers, and our customers stay with us as a courtesy, no charge while we're working on their coach. And it's peace of mind for them. We know that they're safe. It's in a, it's, you've been there. It's incredible little place. Uh, Super popular, and
Yeah.
it makes a difference. And again, well, this is where I came from. I can remember back in 2000 going, okay, we're going to work on motorhomes. And if we have to work on it overnight, they can go stay in a hotel. We got plenty of hotels real close by. And hey, it's kind of neat. A lot of these people have tow cars, so it's easy for them. But you know what? No, that's not how it is. And it's not that anybody smacked me with it, but I had to keep my eyes and ears open. Their pillow is in there, their dog is in there, their medication, their glasses, their hat, their life is inside this motorhome.
Right.
And I thought of myself and my wife and what we do. And when we go, well, when we go to her horse events, everything's in, if someone told me that, oh, hey, leave me your trailer for 4 days while you go stay in this, no way.
Right.
I've set this RV up to where I can live in it, and I'm living in it, and it's my place. So we get it and we accommodate that. And it's a game changer.
It totally
And
is.
but I gotta tell you, for us, it's not, that kind of thing isn't for everybody. There's some customers that don't understand it. We've had a couple that have not appreciated it. Um, so I just keep looking at it and I go, thank goodness we're able to do this for our customer. And here's the thing, we realized early on that our customer travels. I didn't, I heard the term snowbird. I just never knew what it was.
Right.
To me, a snowbird was someone that stayed out at the river, or, Parker, or I don't know, during the winter. But I had no idea it was such a huge contingent from the north and the northwest. And then, you start meeting people from British Columbia, and um, it just blows me away. And boom, where are they going? Southwest United States, aka Yuma, Quartzsite, that area
Camp Verde.
in the winter, because it's 60 and 70 degrees every day.
Yep. Yep. Palm Springs, Camp Verde, Phoenix, all
Yeah, yeah. Well,
big.
heck, really the retirement belt sunshine hits the earth really starting in Hemet. So it does, that's huge retirement area,
Mhm. I agree.
and bunch of RV parks out there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned the Grove, your private RV park also has not just pull through, but it's full hookups. And
Yeah,
that's huge. I stayed there. It's behind a gate, an automatic
yeah,
gate. So you're
yeah.
safe. You can walk to the grocery store if you want. It's
And
literally
hey,
a
now
block from your shop.
there's a brewery next door now. A brewery just went in. It's called Smudge Pot Brewery. So you
Right.
can go have a couple IPAs and then stumble back to the Grove without an issue.
Exactly.
But today I was there today, and I'll be there again tomorrow. I had a customer grab me at the Grove, and they said, "Thank you for paving this." And he said, "I know how much paving costs, but he said, we really, he and his wife really appreciate the fact that we paved it."
Sure.
And that's, I hope our shops get it, man. That is honestly the real deal. To me, you can you can say that you're doing the right marketing, the right social media, you're reaching out to your customers, you're doing everything you can if you get repeat customers.
Yeah.
And you
Oh,
know, it's easy to be a repeat customer if you're close by and you're like, hey, let's just run over to that shop. But man, if we've done such a good job that you're going to drive from Kelowna, British Columbia, all the way to Redlands and stay with us and have us do a bunch of work, that means something. That means you trust us. And like your RV shops know, there's probably in their area, there's not a whole lot of choices for people to make for service to the RV as compared to their vehicle. You can your car, you got 40 or 50 places you can take your little car and get it worked on, oil change, whatever, tires. But RV, man, especially if they're doing everything, paint, body, tires, roof, inside, we don't give ourselves enough credit. We do a tremendous amount of motorhome pull down shades, and that's MCD out of McKinney, Texas. It's an unbelievable quad. It's a day night and it's a privacy shade. You can motorize them, you can pull them down, but there's always two or three coaches in there that we're constantly, we're updating we're pulling all the shades out and putting MCDs in. And
sure.
we call ourselves truck and RV, and here we are, we're fixing balances and putting fabric on, and Octavio and Eddie and Jose, they're just absolutely doing incredible work, So
There's
there's
no doubt.
so much you can do to help an RV customer.
Yes. So tell us now, we talked about the Grove a little bit. Let's talk more about the actual shop facility. I mean, tell me how many bays, how many employees, how many rigs come through there a week or per month?
You know, I have 20 employees, 10 techs, one parts guy. We need probably six more of him. There's four in the office, one general manager, and then three others that act as service advisors. They all answer phones, they all write service, help out. Um, I got my near and dear Gary that's worked for us forever. And if we don't have a part, we're fortunate that Fontana is close by. It's a extremely commercial truck area, so we can find stuff for. Well, I mean, hey, let's be realistic. An RV is a commercial truck chassis, so we can find airbags and dealer items, Freightliner especially, Ford. And if we don't have it in stock, and it's available, he's able to go get it and allow us to put it on. And that's we don't that's something that we don't talk enough about. I you're traveling and, oh, hey, you need a ball joint. Okay, well, it's 4 days away. Well, what if you drove 30 minutes and picked it up? Oh, okay, let's do it that way. And that's what we do. Especially at the shop, we feel like, hey man, that's our coach. Um, we're processing close to 130, 140 work orders every month. So those coincide typically one per motorhome. So you can say that we're processing, that 100 to 130 motorhomes go through our shop every month. We're 6 bays. That's three on each side. It's a 5,000 square foot building on a 1 acre lot, and there's probably 80 RVs in there. It looks like an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Persian Gulf with all the aircraft on the deck. It is unbelievable what these guys do. Um, you know, I feel for them. We have to move this coach to get to that coach and that sort of thing once in a while. But the amount of work that we process on a monthly basis is truly amazing. And then,
Ab-
we go into January, we go to Quartzsite and we do 8 days of a shop out there. And we process almost as many work orders out there. I don't have a count yet, but I'm going to guess it's well over 100 that went through the Quartzsite shop in 8 days. So,
right,
and
right.
you were there for two or three of them. You saw the chaos.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to touch on as well. So most people in the industry know what the RV, the Courtside RV and Travel Show really is. It's been there for 20 plus years, and it's kind of the mecca in Courtside,
Yeah,
Arizona. And so
started out as a gem show or something of that. Yeah.
yeah, and so Keith and his crew at Redlands, they go out there each year, and like you said, they got like 6 bays now. They set up a full-on service center on concrete with tents, and they bring the crew and the tools and the power tools, and literally people are just there ready to go get their upgrades, whether it's tires, shocks, suspension, and you guys just—it's amazing what you guys are able to do. I mean, seeing it firsthand was pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I mean, you said some of the numbers, but yeah, it was a lot. And you guys stay out there. You stay out there for 8 days in your
Yep.
RVs, set up with your your chefs and your dinner tables area. And what I thought was really cool was I was there for 3 days doing some video shoot and what have you for them. And just the camaraderie of not only the crew, but if there was times where there were customers that ended up staying late or being there for lunch or breakfast, and it's like everybody's welcome, come on over, we're making breakfast for
Yep.
everybody, dinner for everybody. And I
Dinner.
just thought that was cool. So
and and I remember 5 or 6 years ago and inviting and it was probably 10 years ago actually, inviting someone over to camp and people like, oh, Margar guys like, oh, you know, we want to have a beer, so what? Let's get these customers over. And then all of a sudden the customers are having a blast and cracking jokes and, you know, and yes, truthfully, then we get to give them a hard time because why didn't you buy Coney shocks or you need
right,
tires, let's get tires done. And then they get to realize that we're just humans and that we're there to help them. And they're like, yep, let's do it. Let's get it done. They trust us. And then they come see us at the Grove. They get to stay on their way home it's like they tell us all the time, like, man, I'm so glad I found you guys.
absolutely. Yeah, the human factor is just so important.
People buy from people.
Yep, exactly. That they know, like, and trust.
Yeah, right. There you go.
It's well known. So yeah, cool. So I'm going to shift gears for a few minutes, and I'm going to give a little quick rundown of my history in the online marketing world and how this fits into our podcast. And then we're going to shift over to how that has made a big difference for Keith and his shop at Redlands. So a little bit about me. I've been doing online marketing for over 15 years, and that boils down to everything from custom websites, online stores, getting people found on Google, graphic design, um, and everything in between. So we are a full service agency. And over the years, similar to what Keith said, we've worked with all different types of businesses over the years, from attorneys to auto glass shops to everything that you could imagine, every kind of business out there. But we've really found our sweet spot, and we really enjoy working with shops. And RV repair shops is a big thing that we have really expanded into and are trying to help as many as we can. And so That's really kind of the premise of our podcast is to really dig in deep of what's going on out there in the shop world and what's happening and what's the latest and greatest and what's the real life stuff that happens along the way for people like Keith and his sister Karen. And then my portion of it really is how technology and how having a powerful online presence can really be a game changer to get those types of numbers that Keith has gotten. Obviously, Keith had a long history of success, but in the last year and a half, I guess we've been working together. We've expanded a lot of what Keith didn't have before. He had a very simple website with really not much traction, no communication, and we were just
No
totally
sale, no parts house.
yeah, no parts house, no sales every week. I mean, and to where what it is now, we've really upped the game where people can literally go to redlandsrv.com, which is kind of the shortened version of it, and they could start a conversation with the service advisor right there via text
Yeah,
message or phone. And the amount of leads that come in now is just crazy. I mean, I see them coming in and every week
yeah,
there's 5 or 10 new leads for higher end upgrades or repairs.
yeah.
And so maybe tell me a little bit on your side of it, Keith, kind of where you were and how things have shifted.
Well, here's the most significant one for me. So we do a thing called liquid spring, and if the shops have heard about it, I'm sure they know how significant it is. We're doing it mostly on F53. That's a Class A motorhome gas engine. We're removing all of the suspension, front and rear, and we're putting about $30,000 worth of computer controlled, silicone filled, high performance suspension underneath it. And the the magic about it all is their shock absorber, if you will, their actuator, and how it's tied into a computer. I mean, it's an unbelievable ride. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it expensive? Absolutely. 3 to 4 leads a week that we get asking about liquid spring through Brad's deal. And I guarantee you, Brad, we weren't getting that before. I am I'm looking back and going, man, I should have started this a lot longer ago. Especially the lead generation, the lead capture.
Right.
Um, and I'll be honest with you, I call my general manager gets that referral, and he's very knowledgeable on liquid spring. He's been doing it from the very beginning, many years ago. I think we started 7, 8 years ago with liquid spring. Um, Excellent conversion rate. I call him and say, hey, how do we do it? And he says they're scheduled for Tuesday. And it's like, right on. I know it's going to be another incredibly happy customer. So
That's,
I know I answered your question. I don't know what else I need to, if you have another question. Sorry.
no, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, we mentioned that before we really, you really partnered up with us to take your business to another level with online marketing and automation and chat and different things. I mean, those leads just were not there. And so now they're there. I mean, it's a bottom line money.
And Brad, this just hit me. I just started thinking about this. Yeah, we did. You and your team cleaned up our website. Absolutely. Yeah. We got a online store. Yep. And we've made some sales through it. Here I am, a business owner, and if I didn't get leads from it, I tell you what, I won't do any social media in the future that's not connected to lead generation. You know, I was in the past, I was just had a website just so people had our address and they could find if they they could go online and look how to get here. Um, so that's how horrible our web page was up until Brad overhauled it, really overhauled it. And we got a new one.
Sure.
We threw out the 1990 website and we got a 2024 model. Couldn't be
That's
happier. But I didn't know that I really didn't know how much lead generation was going to mean to me as a business owner, because now I can quantify, uh, obviously the energies that we're expending in social media, whether it's time or money. and realizing that I'm really getting it back. And I'm getting it back in exactly what we needed, which is hot, live lead. Here's someone that saw something and they're contacting us and giving us permission to call them or text them or send them an email. That's huge. You know, people pay big bucks for one. We're
Yep.
getting 3 or 4 a week
Yep.
just on one product line. I know you saw it, but we just got that other one the other day for shocks and stuff. So it's so rewarding to get the leads.
Yeah. Well, and it's so important, with modern technology. And I'll kind of move on from this conversation into kind of what we foresee in the future in both industries. But the bottom line is things have changed. Word of mouth is certainly still alive and well, but most everybody's on their phone and they're searching for things online. And if they don't find you, they're going to find your competitors, and they're going to contact your competitors.
There
Uh,
and yep. What I tell my guys is if we miss something or we don't ask Mr. Davis about his shock absorbers or his tires or whatever it might be, someone else is gonna.
mhm.
And someone's gonna get that $6,000 tire job or that $1,600 Ford shock job. And it's not gonna be us. And there's a chance that again, what's my most important thing for me personally is that customer comes back. If they go to another shop, there's a good chance they won't come back to us for a while. And I don't want that.
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree. Well, I think our last little segment of the show today, we'll just kind of do a brief summary of what you foresee in the future for RV service centers. And then I'll kind of do the same for what I feel is happening for online marketing for shops.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you want to give us
Um,
a 1,000 foot view.
yeah. When I've gone or we have had a presence at our friendly service centers that we sell parts to, some of them are in Arizona, some of them are somewhat local. Um, they appreciate it. They appreciate the time that we spend there. They understand that what we're trying to do. But when I leave, it's it's like the ask leaves. And the future of dealing with motorhome customers, RV owners in the United States, which is going to be Western United States, Texas, and probably a lot good portions of Florida. Um, you have to the best way for you to be brave enough to ask a question on whatever upgrade or whatever something that needs to go on with your motorhome is to have knowledge about it. There's no way that I can convince you to buy 4 Coney shocks if I can't tell you why they're 80% better than any other shock absorber out there. And not just from personal experience. I need to tell you what frequency selective dampening means. I need to explain it's a dual action hydraulic shock instead of a single action gas charged. And once you have this knowledge and you understand how a sway bar works or a self-centering steering stabilizer like the Safety Plus, it's really easy to ask that question of the customer. And that's the future of any RV service center is you have to ask them if you can help them enjoy their coach better. Can I improve your ride? Can I make it safer? Hey, what if you can't drive and somebody else that normally doesn't drive has to get you home 200 miles? Maybe this Safety Plus is a really good idea that keeps the wheel centered and helps the non-driver.
Right. And if you have
Now,
an accident, it's going to be a game changer.
so here's, this thing's 38 feet long and it's a commercial truck. And, even the best of drivers need help. And the truth is that we're in it and we're enjoying this thing. And why not enjoy it to its maximum? And that's what you should do. To me, that's what our service centers ought to do is we ought to be there to help them enjoy it to the maximum. And there's some customers that want an extremely smooth ride and there's some that are not. Maybe that customer doesn't care about a smooth ride or a Safety Plus. Maybe they want 80 more horsepower and 300 foot-pounds of torque. on their diesel pusher or their Renegade, their uh,
See,
Cascadia front engine diesel, their Super C. Yeah, that's us. Um, and the other our service centers, we have to be able to have the knowledge to be brave enough to ask our customers if we can help them out and enjoy their coach. Um, our customers are 60, 70, and sometimes 80 years old, 50, maybe at the low end. They've made a huge investment in this motorhome. Motorhomes today, two, three, four, $600,000. They're probably going to drive it for 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 15 years. So what we tell people all the time, hey, let's get this stuff on there now so that you can enjoy it right away. Oh, you're going on a big 3,000-mile journey? Let's get this stuff done now, not when you come back. And they get
yeah.
it, and they because we have knowledge, we're able to communicate that with our customer. And I think that's very important in the future for our service centers. Sorry again for the long-winded answer.
No, I mean that's what it's all about is really being real about it and talking the truth. And that's what I
Passionate. I love it. I love what we do. I love helping people. I love helping our friendly service centers that get it. Um, we've got a couple excellent manufacturers. You and I just talked about RVMP, RV mobile power generator made out of uh, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. I think they're headquartered, and then they're in Elkhart. They're
are.
selling they're selling to the manufacturer. They're selling to the end RV maker, and they're also supporting us as well with information on generators. And we
So,
sold 11. I just looked at the number. We sold 11 of the portable gas generators at Quartzsite. We've never sold a portable generator in our life at our shop or whatever, and we had 2 pallets of them in Quartzsite, and within 3 days they were all gone.
oh yeah,
It's
they were
that good of a it's that good of a product.
yeah, they were gone just like
And
that.
and hey, maybe that's something for a service center. I was like, nah, let's don't put them in the booth. This is Quartzsite, blah blah blah. I don't want to deal with them. But we we they were on display inside the sales tent at Quartzsite, and that's where they all got sold. People like, I want that one right there. Okay, here it
Yeah,
is.
right.
So
And the one had a remote control, which was really cool.
yeah. Yep. And we just got 2 more pallets of them. So they're, well, they'll go on the web page and I'm sure they'll be sold quickly.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that really ties into, what's happening in the future. And we'll be expanding on this more on the show where we really dig into the real life inner workings of the shops and, Keith's experience with what's happening out there. And I'll just kind of wrap with this, technology is going so fast in the RV repair and upgrade space. But there's so much that I talk to different shop owners and I see their websites and their social media and what they have. And there's so many things that could be improved upon nowadays that what I see is so many shop owners, they're busy working uh, in the business, but not on the business. And
Mhm.
so many times if having a conversation with us here about what's out there, technology wise, automation wise, communication wise, whether it's a powerful chat system or a text system for your website, or just really sometimes overhauling the website entirely so it can be found on Google search. It's really where everything's going. And it's amazing. I mean, artificial intelligence, AI is a big thing these days, and it ties into all of it. And so we'll be expanding on more of those subjects, but the bottom line is now's the time. You don't want to just sit in your 1990s website and expect people to find you and get more business out of it. It's time to explore what's out there, and that's obviously what Keith did.
It's really hit me recently, like in the last 3 months, that I am so glad we did it. I think within a year, if you don't have some sort of fresh, attractive, and not over the top website, but just a decent website, if you don't have one, I think people are going to say, "Hey, man, I it's not a company I want to deal with. I don't even care what my friend said, or, I
Yep.
can't call them. Or they don't answer their phone, or,
Right.
I don't know. I think in the future, it's definitely super important to make sure that people get a really good glimpse of what it is you're trying to do.
Yep.
And hopefully for the shops, like it did for us, it helped us really define what our customer is, and not that we can simply say, hey, this is the exact uh, diagram of our customer, or whatever the correct words are.
Or, yeah.
But I got to tell you, what's really helped our business is us being able to figure out what customers won't appreciate our incredible level of service. And that's allowed our guys to remain proud without getting attacked, or, the crazy things that happen from retail service and sales that all the shops have had to deal with. But I really, I know that one of the most important things we're doing is figuring out what customers best appreciate Redlands Truck and RV.
Yes. 100%. Awesome. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap today, Keith. I'm really stoked about where we're starting out today on the podcast. Remember, everybody, it's RV Pro Talk for shop owners. And we'll wrap up today, and we'll catch up again in the near future.
Thanks, Brad. Sorry for being long-winded.
Dude, I loved it. Awesome. Thanks for listening to the RV Pro Talk podcast. Listen to our show on all streaming platforms and even YouTube. And if you have a question or need a referral, reach out to us. We're here to help.